Check, check, 1, 2. like linear?
No, it's not. Just came from a box. Need a minute? Or are you ready?
No, I'm good.
Dive right in?
Sure.
All right. Start here.
Yeah, well, I think going through this first time where there's 12 teams in the playoffs, I think there's a lot of things that we'll learn from. I think first off, it'll be how do we learn about the experience for the players, what that means. Playing all the way till January 20th, there's a lot that comes with that. We're figuring those things out along the way, and what that experience is like for the players, what that means. Um, you know, for our team right now, we have 145 guys on our team. And classes started here a couple weeks ago. So there's a lot of things that have the transfer guys have come in. Some guys on our team have entered the portal. So there's just a lot that we're learning from that. I also think that the playoff committee is going to learn some different things about what needs to be done in a lot of areas. And I know Commissioner Petiti is certainly looking at those things and making sure that he's out in front of those to make sure that it's the best experience across the board. And so our focus right now is on this game, and that's what we can control, and that's what we're going to focus on. But I know after the season, there's going to be a lot of things that we need to look at to make things better across the board. Thanks.
You talk about how tougher times this season have really galvanized this team and prepared them for this championship run.
Yeah, I think in life, that's why they call them growing pains, because in life you only grow when you go through difficult times. And I say all the time to our players, the first time you got on a bike, you didn't just ride the bike, you fell down, and how quickly did you learn from falling down to get back on the bike to learn to ride a bike? Well, it's like that in life, and you learn from going through difficult times like that. So I think our team has done that, and now we have to go finish what we started. And there are great stories on this team individually. There's great stories on this team collectively. But I've said this before, the only way those stories get told is if we win. And we have an opportunity to become the 9th team in Ohio State history to win a national championship, and the 3rd team in over 50 years. And there's been a lot of really good football teams in Ohio State history. And we talked about that in the Woody, looking up at the banners of those years. And, to see, just a couple of them in over 50 years of great teams, we have an opportunity to separate ourselves. And so that's it. I mean, that's the only thing right now that matters. And how do we do that? By being in the moment and preparing ourselves great. This is a Thursday practice day for us. So we're here right now for a little while, but then we get hustle back to the hotel, head straight to our meetings, our walkthrough, and then we have a practice over at Mercedes-Benz. And that's it. I mean, we got to be laser focused on that, because that's going to allow us to do our job. And, when you're talking about the playoffs, everyone has to do their job. The players, the coaches, and, executing at a high level will be at an all-time premium in this game. And our goal is to play our best game of the season. Everyone has to be at their best in order to win the game. And that's it. That's what we're focused on right now. You're welcome. I.O. Hey, Heather. How are you? Yeah. I think when you look at our guys, when you look at our staff, you see great men, and when you go through great moments, you really grab onto the people that are around you, and it's the same thing. When you go through difficult moments, that's it, and that's why you have family. That's why you build relationships, and we all say, you build balance in your life, and I think balance is different for us. When I say us, I mean players and coaches than maybe others. I used to think that balance was an equal distribution of energy and time, but what I found is that's not really the case. It's investing in faith, family, and friends, and building high ground from for hard times. And I learned that from a good friend of mine, Clint Bruce, and that's exactly right because we can't spend as much time right now with our family, at home. We're in that woody and we're grinding, and the sacrifices that a lot of people have made, to get to this moment right here is pretty significant, and so that's it. And it's everybody involved. It's our fans. I think about how some of our fans have gone to great lengths to support us, whether it's out at the Rose Bowl, down in Texas, or now here in Atlanta, or right after, right as we get started in the playoffs in the Tennessee game, and whether it's driving across the country, taking a loan out to get a ticket for this game, whatever it might be, and everybody is a part of this, and knowing that we're together on this in good times and bad is really what it's all about. And so, that's it at the end of the day. And I'm proud of this team. I'm proud of our fans. I'm proud of where we are right now. But again, the only thing that matters is going to win this game, and that's what we're going to focus on. Well, you learn every time. Every time you go through a season, every time you go through a game, you learn. And the key to life is you're going to make mistakes. Things are going to happen, but you learn from them and you grow. And I had an unbelievable opportunity because of Urban Meyer and Gene Smith to become a head coach at Ohio State. But that was my first time as a head coach, and you learn every year. You learn and you grow. And trying to be self-aware enough and surround yourself with people that tell you the truth to grow and to get better. And that's really, all you can do. And surround yourself with great people. And, you're talking about a Mecca Book. I could talk to you about probably 20 guys on this team that are in the same boat of how proud I am of their growth as people in all areas of their lives. Physically they look different. Mentally they're different. And emotionally and spiritually they're different. And that's why you get into college coaching. It isn't anything else. It's to see these players reach their dreams and goals, and to support the staff and their families and everything else. So, this is just part of our mission, is to obviously win these games, but also is to help these young men grow as people, and that's it. So, again, all things that we need to talk about after the season. Right now, it's about how do we figure out get the first down and get the first stop on defense and take care of the football and create turnovers. Well, number one is my wife, and so she'll tell me exactly what's on her mind, and you need those. And I think these players need those as well, and I share that with them, that you need to have at least one person in your life. I think Mick Marotti for me is the other. I have a couple others, but number one is my wife. Probably my kids are 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, we're to the point in the season where we played 16 games, so people can talk about who's favored, who's not. We know what we need to do in this game, so that's for other people to talk about. We know this is a very, very good team. We know what we have to do to play in this game, and again, when you've played now 16 games, our focus needs to be on the game and execution. The rest of that stuff doesn't matter. But I think. First off, when you talk about Jim Knowles, I think Jim Knowles is the best defensive coordinator in the country. I think what he's done this season and how he's built it over the years has been tremendous. And I think he deserves all the credit in the world for building that, because we've come a long way on defense in the last couple of years. Chip Kelly, obviously, is a mentor of mine and a friend and a colleague. And so, I would never be where I'm at right now without Chip. And certainly the same thing is to be said for this season as well. Well, I think it's easy to see when you listen to our guys speak, like those three that you just mentioned, but you could listen to Trey or G or Donovan Jackson. I mean, I can go through the list of guys, and you just become so impressed so fast. And I think Ohio State brings out the best in all of us. We all have to step up our game, everybody, because the expectations are so high. And so I just think it makes us better across the board. And but I think to answer your question specifically, we haven't reached our team goals yet. We have one more game to go. But to see these guys overcome adversity and have success is really what we want to see as coaches. And so I'm proud of who these people are. I love these guys. I love this team. And that's why, our focus has got to be on winning this game so that these guys can tell that story and be able to cement themselves in Ohio State history, which I know means the world to these guys. Yep. Oh. No, real healthy. It was just I don't know, I guess a blood vessel or something that looks a lot worse than it is. He's doing great. Guys are healthy. We had a great week of practice, and for Game 16, we're doing good. No, and I think it's a great lesson for our young players to see somebody who came back to be the best guard in the country and had to transition to tackle midway through the season, but then take that on, never make an excuse, never complain, and just own it. And then the leadership that he's shown has been tremendous. We had a lot of conversation around this time last year. Actually, it was before this. It was probably the first or second week of January, and he was on the fence. He had an opportunity to go play in the NFL and would have been drafted, significantly high. And I think there was a point where he actually said he was going to go to the NFL and then had a change of heart. And I think that had everything to do with the brotherhood, everything to do with his teammates, and having unfinished business. Yep. I think when you go into games like this, there's a lot of ways to look at it. There's a lot of stats we can look at. The truth is we've played these guys 3 years in a row. This will be our third time in 3 years. So our guys know who these guys are and have a lot of respect for them, and are excited to play in the game. So this game has nothing to do with the past and what's gone on. It's all about what's going to happen in this game, and that's what we'll focus on.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I think when you go into a game like this, one of the most important things is to avoid distractions. So I'm letting my wife handle that right now, which is a lot. But the number one thing for us right now is focusing on this game. And so I said that to our team, that we have to avoid all distractions right now. We have a lot of family, a lot of friends, a lot of people who certainly want to come to the game, and obviously those things need to get taken care of. But ultimately we have to do our job. They're all there to see us, and that's what we're going to focus on. So no, it's an opportunity, obviously, to be on stage and finish our mission, but we have to make sure we avoid all distractions. It just makes me realize I've grown up a lot since then. Again, I feel like our guys are men. We have 145 guys on a team right now, which is, when you hear it, it just kind of blows you away. You have that many guys, and everybody's job on the team, and that includes coaches and staff, is not to be a distraction to the other player as they prepare, but also just in general, avoiding distractions for yourself in terms of your focus. And so When the question right there about tickets and all the different things, or some of the stuff that the stories that are written, talking about previous years or previous games or things that has nothing to do with what's going on in this game, and just being focused on this game and how we execute. And that's been the message, without overdoing it. But our guys understand what the message is, and I believe they're locked in. Yeah. Well, I know that we need everybody. So, former players, people who are going to be at the game and having a great presence in Mercedes-Benz Stadium and being loud. Yeah, we'll need them. So we're playing for them. People who are back home in their living rooms, whether it's back in Ohio or in another country or across the country. Just setting great energy. Our guys feel all that. So, we're playing for everybody who's pulling to be a Buckeye. We're playing for Buckeye Nation for sure. We're also playing, for each other and for this team, and that's it. I'm not going to get too far into that right now, but that's it. Yeah. Yeah, he's like family. He is. Being the first really commit and guy who recruited the other guys, especially on defense, but also on offense. He was a leader from the jump, and being a Buckeye meant even more to him growing up in Columbus and Pickerington, Ohio. His family of just great people, and this is a guy who overcame some things. He just didn't come in his freshman year and dominate and leave in 3 years and go on to the NFL to be a first-round draft pick. I mean, this is a guy who, again, I say it all the time, wears a hard hat to work every day, brings his lunch pail to work, and has the respect of his teammates. And you're seeing his play do his talking this year. So I know he wants to play at his best this game. Being a captain, again, in August, having his teammates vote him in was a big deal for him. It was an emotional moment, and winning some of these games has really built him more and more confidence in knowing that this is what he wants. He wants to win a national championship more than anything, and that, I think, represents our entire team. No, I just think that this year with the 12-team playoff, it's just been a little bit different, and everyone has their own story, and there's a lot of great teams out there, and a lot of things come into play when you make a run like this, injuries and just different things. So we'll look at it at the end of the year and figure out the adjustments that need to be made, I think, internally, but I also think that we all need to look at how this is playing and what this means. Playing 16 games, I think it's a great learning opportunity to see what that's going to look like moving forward. But I know it's been exciting for college football and for their fans. Yeah, I think they do a great job on offense. Coach Denbrock's done a great job wherever he's been. Riley Leonard's an excellent leader. Jeremiah Love is one of the most talented backs we've gone against, and they have a very good offensive line. Evans is really good at tight end. They have multiple tight ends. Receivers are weapons. So, they're gonna challenge us in a lot of different areas, and so we have to play Big Ten football. That's what it's gonna look like, and every play matters when you play in a game like this, and certainly against this team, it'll be the same way. Yeah, I think we've built we say this in all the time, is that, when you have momentum, you got to keep it. When you don't, you got to go get it. And, we didn't have momentum at the end of the season. We had to create our own momentum. And then we started to build some momentum, and now we have to keep it. But I think the ability for our guys to sustain throughout the season has been significant here, and now it's got to be at the best. It's got to ramp up, and again, the goal is to play our best game and to finish the mission. But we talked early in the season about building a foundation for down the road, and just like anything else, you build a foundation of a building. When storms come, it has to withstand those storms. But now we got to finish. We got to finish what we started, and that's it. I think, again, there'll be time to reflect on some of those things after the game. Right now, we're just going to continue to look at Monday night and playing our best game. It's been enjoyable to be able to, it started off with the home game against Tennessee, and then went on the road to the Rose Bowl to LA. That was an experience, and then so went through that, and then went down to Texas and played Texas in Texas, which was very much like a road game, and so now we're into Atlanta, and we have a lot of guys on our team from the Atlanta area, from the Southeast. So for a lot of these guys, it's like coming home. So that's exciting. But it's allowed our families and team to kind of be on the road together for the last month. But we just I kind of say we're like trained rats. We just come to work and figure out what the next mission is and get back to work that way. That's just really what it is. And every once in a while, you got to come up for air and realize that it has been a great run. But now we got to finish it. And so every once in a while you take a step back, but then you get refocused on what matters. And but to your point, it's about everybody, and certainly it all starts with the players and what they do. And I think our energy has continued to grow. I think when you talk about the mental fatigue, I just don't see that with our guys. I think it's only increased. The energy's increased. The focus is increased. I think our team is fresh right now. I think if we had to, we could continue to play for a few more weeks. But that just shows you the experience, the maturity, the depth that we have, and I think that's all important. But we're not going to play anymore. We got one more left, and it's got to be our best. Say that again. Yeah, we have, and excellent football players with, just great focus on family, and and you can see how important relationships matter, and when you have an opportunity to recruit families and get into their homes, you got to feel for what that's like at home, and you can certainly see how in the Haitian community, family matters, relationships matter, so that when you bring somebody into your family, in the football family, they grab on to the culture, and it's been a huge asset to our team. Say it one more time. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I got you. Well, yeah, we're kind of, I guess that transition has been happening the last few years, but you can see obviously this year it's really accelerated. And the thing that's hit me is that we're in the middle to late January. We're still playing, and some teams are starting spring ball in another week or so. And so it's just very, very different. I think it's all things that we have to learn from when we assess what's going on. But it's been hard to take a step back and look at anything because you'll have a short period of time to get back and win the next game, and every single ounce of your energy has to be to go win the next game. And then you wake up and you realize you're on to the next one. And so we're not there right now, but I know after the season you're going to wake up, what just happened, and then we'll try to assess it the best we can and make it better. I know there's a lot of things that we can do to make this all better. And I know institutionally we'll continue to make those adjustments, like you said, and do things the way we've done before, but also adjust. But also, I think in college football we need to look and see how we can make this even better as it's gone on, because every year it has gotten better. And I think it's great right now, but man, when you think about the potential and what it can be for the players and these teams, it's pretty extraordinary. Oh yeah, that's it. That's it. And I think our strength coach Mick Marotti really symbolizes kind of what that means. He has this old school work ethic, because the line's still the line and the cone's still the cone. You still got to have your foot behind the line. You still got to run through the cone +2. But there's so many other things now. There's sports science. There's GPS. There's a longer season. And so having to be able to adapt with those times is important. And I think it's the same way with our program and how we run things. And the tradition is not going to change at Ohio State. And that's one of the reasons why these guys come here. And it's one of the things we sell in recruiting, is that, just over 100 years of football and the great teams and players that have come before and what the expectation. And, we have an obligation to be the best in the world at what we do. And that's the expectation, whether you're a player or a coach. And we own that. We absolutely embrace that. But then also adjusting with the times. And now we have a new playoff system in place. So, but all that being said, here we are, a couple more days before the game, and we got a chance to finish our season and finish the mission, and then, again, cement ourselves in the history of Ohio State football as the 9th team to win a national championship, and the 3rd in over 50 years. A lot of good teams along the way, and that's been the message to our guys, and it's not about how you start, it's how you finish. Try not to get too much into those nostalgic thoughts, because it's a distraction. And when you're in a game like this, it's easy to get distracted, players and coaches. So what matters is what we do on Monday night, how we execute, how hard we play, and that's it. And then after the game, I think there's a great opportunity to sit back and think about all those types of things. But there's a lot that I could probably go into if we were able to sit back and talk about what Monday night means, but ultimately we have to go win the game, and that's it right now. So 48 hours out. I know a lot of people want to talk about different things. We're just going to focus on executing at a high level, everybody doing their job, and finding a way to win the game in the 4th quarter. And that's it. I think in life you have to work through tough times, and it's how you respond to those tough times, and that's it. And that's been the message all along to our players. And it's not always how things happen in your life, it's how you respond. And I think our guys have learned a lot about that. And I've said this before, I think there's some great stories to be told about what went on behind closed doors, and some of the things that were said, and the personal challenges that we had for each other, and collectively the story. But the only way that gets told is if a banner gets put up in a Woody. That's it. And that's the sobering reality of this game, that nobody cares about what you go through, and you got to win that final one to finish the mission. And so that's it for our guys. And as much as some of these wins have been great wins for us, to me, it's about winning this final game. And so all that being said, I think our guys have learned a lot about life over the last month. I think it's been a tight group. We've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. And it's a special group of guys that care a lot about each other, and that are going to go on to be very, very successful moving forward, because they're strong, they're loyal, and they're very mature. You're going to see, 10, 20, 30 years down the road, these guys make an unbelievable impact, not only on their families, but in the community and in the game of football. Yeah, it's football, and I say to my wife all the time, like we signed up for it, and it's the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. This game will take you to knees and give you some of the greatest experiences in the world, and that's it. Not a lot of people get to experience those highs and lows, and you have to manage the tough times, and you got to enjoy the good ones, and that's it. And um, you know, the more you're in this game, the more you're going to realize that, and that's it. And um, those are opportunities to show strength, and that's it. So, we're counting on that to make a difference on Monday night. Yeah, you got it.
The guys who have been there, 2 years ago, everything that went down there, that some of the tough losses. Have you been impressed by just how they embrace adversity and kind of just continue to lead and lead the younger players?
Yeah, that's it, and set a great example for the younger groups. One of the good things about having 145 guys on the roster is some of these new freshmen and transfers that are coming in get to see what it's supposed to look like, get to see great leadership. If this wasn't the case, they wouldn't get able to have an opportunity to see what, Emeka Bukas like, Will Howard, Travion Henderson, Lathan Ransom, Denzel Burke. Go through the list, Cody Simon. I mean, these, Tyleek Williams. What does it look like? How do they prepare, not only for 1 week, but several weeks? And these guys they're men. They are. And the way that they go about their business, not only do they love being Ohio State Buckeyes, but they love their teammates. And all those things matter. And so, again, they want to play their best game here and finish themselves and cement themselves so that, when they come back, they can see that banner up there and have a big old ring to show for it. So that's it. We'll get back to the hotel here, get back to work, get to these meetings, and focus on what matters right now. Yeah, hard to put into words what Emeka's meant to this team or to me or to my family or to Ohio State. It started when he first got here. He had a different look in his eye. He's extremely competitive. No job's too small for Emeka. He's selfless. He's really made it unbelievable strides in his life, but also just in his faith. And, when he speaks, people listen. He's very well thought out. You sit down and have a conversation with Emeka Buka, you're going to walk away extremely impressed. And but then when you talk about his play on the field, he's made a lot of great plays. He's been very clutch. He's been very consistent. And this is a guy I know who wants to finish his career out with a great game Monday night. Okay.
I know how much pride you take and how physical this team plays and how tough it is. I talk about it all the time. Was there a point in your tenure where you felt like maybe you had to do something differently or approach things differently to kind of build a little more of that balance, that toughness in this group?
I think when you're starting out the season and you're putting a roster together, you have to start from this game and move back. And I think when that happens, you have to build a team. And I think now the Big Ten has allowed us to do that with the addition of some different styles of play on the West Coast, and then certainly the traditional Big Ten play. It's a combination of being able to get big and strong and heavy and stop the run and run the football when it matters, but also be in a spread-out game where you can be in a little bit of a track meet and have the skill to play with anybody in the country. And I think that's the combination that you need to have. And that's the goal every year, to do that. When you need to go get that yard, you get that yard, or when it's time to get that stop, you got to get that stop. But also having the skill to be able to run with everybody in the country, and that's how we start. And then as the season goes on, we look to identify the areas where we have to, get better or whatever that might be. But I think it all starts in the off season with our off season program and what Mick Marotti does, and I think our off season program And I know it now because when I see players come from other teams, you get great feedback. You get guys who come in from different programs and say, talk to me about what your program is compared to our program. Off season, during the season, all that. It really gives me confidence knowing we're doing the right things.
Is it fair to say maybe you were too one-note stylistically maybe 4 or 5 years ago, that you guys were built for the track meet, maybe more built for the kind of game you played last week?
I think every year you learn. and I think, to be to be honest, I think, every year I learn and grow and figure out what needs to be done to get it fixed and identify the issues and be honest and call it out for what it is and get it fixed and get it addressed. And that's what leaders do. And, um, they look out in the horizon, see what's coming, because the soldiers are fighting right in front of you, and that's what they are. And so what's coming down the road, and then obviously what areas need to get addressed and get fixed. And that always starts with, who's in the right seats, players, coaches, and staff, making sure that's organized, and then building it from there. And so every year you grow to try to get better, and then identify it the next year and move on from there and keep growing. And we all have to continue to learn. And I think I've done that as well. Yep.
You guys, last year, Caleb Downs was raised this time, obviously a very confident recruit. Why do you think you guys will be able to land him, and what is his rise to this team?
Yeah, Caleb is mature beyond his years. He's a tremendous player, but he brings a work ethic that's tremendous. He and Lathan Ransom both, in the way that they bring energy to practice every day, and they let their play do the talking for them. But they're great leaders. During the recruiting process, I went all the way down to the wire. It's been told before, and we were right there at the end. And I wished him good luck and understood. I mean, Coach Saban is a unbelievable coach, and certainly his success speaks for itself. But also just as a defensive backs coach, and I totally understood. And was pulling for him in his freshman year. You can tell my family and my wife and kids, we were all pulling for him because he was just such a unique talent and great person and great family. And then when Coach retired and he was in the portal, it was an opportunity to reconnect with him. And I think he had great relationships with the players. And it's been great to see him this year really flourish within our culture. And you're seeing the best version of him now. Well, it's going to be a great environment. We know that. Great crowds on both sides, so it'll be electric. And, different than in the past where you kind of had these, bowl game and then a final game. We these playoff environments now are something that, we've become accustomed to. And so we need to focus on what really matters in the execution and find a way to win the game in the fourth quarter. That's it. This is a team that continues to come at you, so we know it's going to take four quarters. It went all the way down to the last play last time we played them, and we have to be prepared for that. But that's it. Great environment. It's good to get over there today to have practice, just to kind of see it again, feel it again, and I know our guys will be ready. All good. Okay, thanks. One more question here, and then.
Josh Fryer was talking about that drive against Tennessee he had where he got banged up and had to run all the way down the field. What do you feel like you've kind of learned from him this year, whether it be toughness, leadership, the way he's played through some things?
Yeah, I think he's built confidence as an offensive lineman throughout his career, and especially this year. And he's become a leader for us up front, and we'll need him to be at his best in this game as well. Yeah, thanks. Yep. Yeah, I mentioned this before that this is about these players in this game, and it's all going to be about who executes well during the game. That's it. And I think our guys understand that and feel that, and there'll be a lot of conversation, which is great. It's exciting for the fans to talk about, but we know what really matters, and that's what our focus is on, is executing at the highest level we possibly can. Thanks. Yep. Yep.
Hey, Coach, why don't you say hi to family right here? and
I
you.
told him that Ryan used it. And yes, he did. And should I surprise Marcus and have just a sun kiss in there or like a 7-Up? I'm not gonna. Hey, I think he preferred. I heard you did this. I said no chance.
You said you got a lot better after
I
you
said
left.
no chance.
Didn't do crap. Didn't do crap when he was working for us. We're down to 6 bottles of water underneath. So.
Look, I am working my ass off back here. Okay?
Hot mic, hot mic.
I know. Did you get that ASAP?
Where's my name card?
What if Herbstreit sits here? What if Fowler sits here? I don't want to put Marcus Freeman's name out there.
At these kiosks?
Yes, they did last year.